Real quick before the video starts, I have a new channel based around green tech stories on 4chan, and I'll be uploading videos daily over there. If you're interested, I'll leave a link to the channel in the description. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Public Control in the AITA subreddit. The post is titled, "I told my boyfriend that I'll break up with him if he doesn't start wiping his butt. I am a 26-year-old female and have been dating my boyfriend, who is 27, for almost a year. We moved in together 3 months ago, and for the most part, things have been fine. He is funny, smart, we have good chemistry, and we share similar goals for the future. That said, there has been a problem, a really gross, ridiculous problem. When we first moved in, I noticed that he never had toilet paper rolls in his bathroom. We have a 2-bathroom setup and tend to use separate ones most of the time. I figured maybe he used wipes or something else, but then I started noticing smells. Like awful smells. Sometimes his laundry would stink in a very specific way. I thought maybe it was just bad hygiene in general, so I brought it up. He got really defensive and basically told me to drop it. Eventually, after too many suspiciously stained boxers and just a level of funk no grown man should be walking around with, I asked him point blank, "Do you wipe after you poop?" He shrugged and said, "Nah, wiping is kind of gay. Why would I touch my own ass?" I thought he was joking. I laughed. He did not. Turns out he legitimately believes that wiping makes you gay and that real men just let it fall out and go about their day. I told him that this is not only stupid, but also incredibly unhygienic, and honestly, it is making me feel physically sick to be near him sometimes. He said I was being judgmental and that I should accept him for who he is. I told him I draw the line at poop. I said if he did not start wiping and taking basic hygiene seriously, I would have to reconsider the relationship. He is now sulking and accusing me of being shallow, saying I am prioritizing societal expectations over true love. He even texted me a link to a men's rights subreddit post about how wiping is emasculating. Now I am wondering, am I the asshole for threatening to break up with my boyfriend over something as small as wiping? Update. I wanted to give an update because, well, it happened. I broke up with him and it was somehow even messier than I expected. No pun intended. I sat him down and told him I could not do this anymore. I explained everything calmly, that it was not just about wiping, but about respect. For me, for himself, and for any space we shared. That I was exhausted from living in constant secondhand filth. That I genuinely could not picture a future with someone who refused to do the most basic thing to stay clean. He stared at me in silence for a few seconds, then laughed. Like this weird fake laugh. Then he got super defensive and said, "Wow, so I guess you never actually cared about me? This is what ends us? Over wiping?" I told him it was not just that. It was the fact that I asked him repeatedly to do something extremely reasonable, and he chose not to, over and over. He folded his arms and said, "I'm not changing who I am just to make you comfortable." I said, "I'm not asking you to change your personality, I'm asking you to not smell like shit." That is when it got dramatic. He stood up, threw his keys on the couch, and said, "You're just like everyone else, judgmental and shallow." Then he packed a duffel bag like he was storming out of a movie, grabbing random stuff like a pair of mismatched socks, 2 deodorants, and a frozen burrito from the freezer. Before he left, he looked at me and said, "You'll regret this. You'll never find another guy like me." And I just said, that's kind of the point. He slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. He has texted me a few times since, mostly passive-aggressive stuff like, "Hope your next guy wipes and lies to you about it," and "Real men don't fold for toilet paper." I have not responded. Since he left, I have deep cleaned the apartment, burned a candle, and done 5 loads of laundry. I cannot tell you how amazing it feels to sit on a couch and not wonder if it has been in contact with poop. Anyway, thank you all for the push I needed. You were right, I do not need to fix someone who thinks basic hygiene is optional. I need someone who is already a damn adult. Wandering Lights said, how did she date him for approximately 9 months and not realize he did not wipe his ass? How did she live with a filthy ass for 3 months? To this comment, Isabel said, probably the same way moving out consisted of him throwing a frozen burrito into a bag, storming out, and then she never heard from him again except for a few texts she did not respond to. Because never mind all his stuff still being there, and the rental agreement, which may be in both of their names, and how she is going to afford the place on her own, and where he is going to live now. This next story was made in the same subreddit by a user named Alternative Site. The post is titled, "Everyone thinks I had a bad reaction to the way my niece announced her engagement. I am a 33-year-old male and have a pretty big age difference with my brother, who is 44. He had a child at 25, which means that I became an uncle at 14. Because we were pretty close in age, I formed a special bond with my niece Ella, who is now 18. When she was 16, my brother and his family moved away, so I have been seeing them less recently, but we keep in touch and catch up at family events. Last year at Christmas, my niece told me that she had a boyfriend and told me a bit about him, but I did not know the guy. He was invited for Easter and a couple of other events, but was never able to make it. When we were planning our mother's birthday, my brother decided to invite Ella's boyfriend so that we could all meet him. Yesterday was the birthday. I was looking forward to meeting Mark, Ella's boyfriend, but was very confused when I saw her walk in with a man who looked double her age. She introduced him to me and I politely smiled but was deep down very concerned. I went to my brother to ask how old Mark was and he told me that Mark is 36, so literally double Ella's age. She had told me that he was a bit older, but I assumed early to mid-20s, not almost 40. That is when they called us in the living room to share exciting news. Ella showed us a ring and revealed that they were engaged. I just said, "What the fuck?" And everyone turned around and looked at me like I was crazy. I told them that they were out of their minds if they thought this was normal, that there was no world in which a 30-something should date an 18-year-old, and that she should not be getting married. All of them accused me of ruining Ella's happiness. Some even said that I was jealous of Mark, which is so disgusting I cannot even explain it. I mean, I am younger than Mark, but never in a million years would I consider dating someone younger than 25. They told me it was perfectly legal as they were both adults, which is not true because they have been dating for a year, and Ella turned 18 7 months ago, and that if they were happy, that is all that matters. I told them that they were sick for allowing this and that he was a predator, but they would not listen. I know this is not my business, but I cannot help but fear for Ella. She is young and does not really know what she is getting into. I am really scared of her getting married and being unable to leave him when she realizes how sick it is. I then left and slammed the door and have been receiving pretty wild messages and calls since then. I do not know if I was wrong for this and am just overreacting, and if I was not wrong, I do not know what I can do to make them realize how wrong it is. Update. So I have taken the past 24 hours to really reflect on all of this. I tried to take in most of the advice in the comments and here is what I have decided. I do not think that me telling her and everyone that the relationship is weird was wrong. I do, however, think that I did it wrong and it was pretty harsh because it was in the heat of the moment. But I still find this very creepy and do not think she should get married. What I have decided to do is apologize to her. I sent her a text saying I was sorry for my outburst and that I should have thought it through beforehand. I told her that I never wanted to make her feel like I did not want her to be happy, and that I loved her very much and had her best interests in mind. Ask her if we could talk about this. I asked if she would be okay and free to hang out and maybe get coffee this week to talk about all of this with a clear head. I really want to try and get her to see why it is weird and that maybe marrying him is not a great choice. Explain myself to my brother. I sent him a text saying that I was sorry for the way I said it, but that I still thought it needed to be said. I explained to him why I think Mark is a predator and this relationship could have a very negative and damaging impact on Ella. I am still waiting on their replies. I will update when they reply or when I see Ella if she accepts, depending on how long it takes. In the meantime, I really want to thank everyone who gave me advice and was constructive and really tried to help my niece out of this situation. I also send my best to all of the people in the comments sharing similar stories about when they were the teenagers getting groomed. I am so sorry this happened to you, and I really hope you are doing better now. Update 2. So, following my text, Ella replied and told me she agreed to meet with me and talk. I just came back from seeing her. Here is how it went. She asked me what I wanted to tell her, and I started explaining that I did not think her relationship was very healthy and that no older guy should want to date a teenager. I told her that she was an incredible woman, so I was not saying it was weird that someone would want to marry her, but that guys my age normally should not even look at a teenager. She was not convinced and said that sometimes it is true, but sometimes it is okay. I asked her how she would feel if I told her that someone born today could be her future partner, and she said it felt really weird. I also asked her if she would consider dating someone younger than 15, and she said no. I could see her starting to realize that Mark maybe did not have the best intentions. I also asked her if she knew about his previous relationship, and she said vaguely and just told me the girl's name. I asked her if she knew how old the girl was, and she said she was 21. I also asked her if she knew that their relationships overlapped, and she said that Mark always told her he was single since they met, but she kind of felt like that was not true. I told her that since his previous girlfriend was also significantly younger, it seemed like he had a thing for younger girls, which is kind of weird. After discussing that, she told me a bit more about her relationship. She told me she was starting to feel weird about it because of Mark's recent behavior. I asked what she meant, and she said that he had been flirting with a lot of girls who were all also younger, including some of Ella's friends. When she confronted him, he sort of gaslit her into thinking it was not flirting. He was also making a lot of comments about having children with Ella and how cute it would be to see her raise them. She told me she was absolutely not ready for that and also wanted to go to college and work and not be a stay-at-home mom. Because of all of that, she was doubting her relationship, and I told her that I understood. She said she was scared of breaking up with him because he had become her whole life recently, and she did not know what she would do without him. I told her that she was surrounded by people who loved her and would be there for her, and that she was a lot more than just Mark's girlfriend. I said that she knew my opinion on it, but that ultimately the choice was hers and that I just wanted her to be happy. I also said I would be there for her no matter what. She told me that she will try to break up with him this week and she will let me know how it goes. I will edit this post if I have more info. Also, again, thank you to everyone who gave advice and tried to help us. I really appreciate it. Edit, okay, so I just want to say some people in the comments seem to think that this is fake, and you know what, I can understand, and I do not really care. I am not asking you to believe that my life is real or fake, and it is great that you do not just believe everything you see online, but I just want to say this, there are hundreds of people on here or elsewhere that share similar stories. I am not really affected by people thinking I am lying, mainly because I am not the one in that situation, but some people might be. Some people come on here to share something that might have traumatized them, and the last thing they want is for others to think they are lying. So if you do not want to believe me, that is fine, but the next time, keep that to yourself. It is fine to not believe something, but you do not have to say it, because it might make other people feel really bad. Update 3. I know it has been a while since I posted the last update, and a lot of people have been requesting updates on the whole situation, but until now I had not really received any news. So please forgive me if this update took a while to come. Since my conversation with Ella, I have checked in on her once or twice a week and asked how things were, and she would always tell me pretty much the same as what she told me a month ago. Basically, there were many red flags and she was getting more and more uncomfortable in her relationship, but she also did not know how to break up with him. I tried to give her some advice, but eventually told her that I thought she should do it when she felt comfortable. Yesterday, I called her to know what she had planned for Christmas and if she would be coming to the Christmas dinner that I was hosting, and if Mark would be coming. That is when she told me that she had broken up with him the evening before. She was pretty shaken up, so I did not ask for too much detail and asked if she wanted to come to my house for a while. She said that Mark had left to stay with his family when she told him, so she was okay staying home. This may not be a very detailed update, but here is what I know. She told me that he had been getting angry at her all week for small things, and then they were talking about Christmas, and he insisted that they should not go with Ella's family and instead spend a week with his family because they see them less often. After that, he made a comment about how he hoped that next year, as a present, they could give his mother a grandchild, and Ella said that was what really made her break up with him. She also told me that she would be coming alone for Christmas. I do not know what she told him or how he reacted, and maybe she will tell me more in a while when she feels better, and if not, I will not ask her to. If I get more information, I will edit this post, but for now, that is it. Again, thank you to anyone who gave advice and tried to help with this situation. 6 months later, OP gave us their most recent update. I know it has been months since my last update, and to be honest, I logged off Reddit and completely forgot about it. My niece and I were just reminiscing about everything that happened, and I decided to show her the posts I had made back then and the comments. She read a lot of it and wanted me to thank all of the people who were kind and gave advice or tried to help her. She also told me to tell all the people who shared similar stories how sorry she was that it happened to them. Some people were also asking for updates, so we wanted to let you know what the situation was. Since she broke up with him, Mark has tried to come back multiple times, apologizing for the things he said and trying everything to win her back. He was very insistent, but she never took him back, and I am really proud of her for that. She managed to find a nice apartment and has cut all contact with him. I guess you could say that all is well that ends well. It was not easy, but Ella has been strong, and now she is happier than ever, which is the only thing that matters. Thank you to everyone who helped and supported her. Your kindness means a lot to both of us. Wishing you all the best. Edit, I forgot to say this and I feel like it is important to share it. While we were talking, Ella was originally telling me that she was very ashamed and felt stupid for not seeing how bad the relationship was. She somehow felt like it was her fault for being too naive. I reassured her and told her that in no way was it her fault, but what really helped her see that was reading all of the similar experiences that happened to other people. Maybe it seems stupid, but she realized that it was not any of those people's fault, so it was not hers either, and she was not the one who should be ashamed. All of this to say, this is the very reason why I think it is so important to talk about those things. Just knowing that you are not alone, that it happened to others, can really help. To anyone out there who went or is going through something similar, you are not alone. Peter09 said, "The family did not see this predator behavior as a problem. I am sorry, but what the fuck is wrong with those people? I am glad Ella was able to break out before she was baby trapped, but still, those family members are enabling donuts." To this comment, Dee Locke said, "I sadly know personally a girl who started dating her martial arts coach. He was her coach from the age of 5, and they were official when she was 16 and he was 31. Her family knew and supported. They were together for 10 years when it got openly abusive, and her family blamed her for being annoying and needy. It turned out he also had a parallel relationship the entire time with an age-appropriate woman whom he married 1 month after my friend finally left him." Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersubs. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.